All right, everybody. Just want to make a quick video here. There's a post on the Google Apps Script subreddit, which if you're not a member of, I suggest you join if you're interested, by Tomcam. So he made a quick little tutorial about making an activity tracker in a sidebar that had similar aesthetic look and feel to Google's traditional styling. And he had asked people to take a look at it, give him some thoughts, feedback. I'd made some changes and posted it, but did not have a time yesterday to detail why. So I just thought I'd make a quick video, walk through it, and hopefully, show you some of the things that you may come across as you're doing something like this. So we're gonna first just come in. We've got a blank spreadsheet, and oh, that's a little more than we want there. We've got a blank spreadsheet and a blank code file to go with it. So I'm just going to start, and this is its on open function, just adding a menu to the top menu that will end up here. That allows us to show the sidebar. Then here is his sidebar function itself. So this is just gonna create HTML output from the file sidebar, which we'll create here in a second, set the title, and then display it through the UI. Here is a server-side function that's going to go in our code file, and it's going to be called from the client-side HTML. And this is actually what's going to log our activity. So it says, activity, passes the activity, creates a new date, gets the active spreadsheet, gets the first sheet, appends a new row, it's going to change the date to your local time, and then put in the activity. So we'll save that. That's pretty much everything on that side of things. And then we will go in here and we're going to take his sidebar function, or sidebar HTML file, new HTML file, sidebar. Okay. Let's get rid of all that, paste that in, and just a quick walkthrough of what this is he's pulling in Google's hosted, just standard CSS. Gives a little margin here to his button and turns visibility for his little help class here to hidden. So, gives you a little more information about the text field and the button. But goes down through here, creates his input text field, named activity note, giving it its description. There's a button below that with a class of blue, which is detailed in your add-on on how to style that, or on your CSS. Then we got the name of the button, description, where it's going to go. Then down here, he pulls in jQuery. We got a function here that's saying, all right, this is going to be a click handler that we're going to add next. So grab the element, the DOM element, OK button, click get activity note. So that's the function we're going to call. Get activity note says Google script run activity log, and then the value that was in activity note. And so this Google script run is going to run from the client side to our server side and log our activity. So everything here looks pretty well good to go. We should be able to refresh the page now. And upon doing so, we will someday soon see our time tracker show that. Sounds good. Here's our time tracker. If we just put in a sample activity, okay, and we've got it there. And if we'd like to do something else, oh, sorry about that, on a different keyboard at the moment than usual, do something else. Okay, so that's all logging there. So now just a couple of changes that I might make. By no means does anyone have to, but just a thought. So what this is doing is pulling in the CSS Oh, we can get that. So that's basically just this file here. And then after that, we're going to make another style change there. So what happens if you want to edit this, or just in general, you want to know about bringing in your own CSS files? So what I would do is I would take this entire code block here, create a new HTML file. We're going to call this one style sheet. We'll get rid of all of this. So we will start it with the style tag. We will do an end style tag there, and then we're just going to paste the contents right in the middle of that. So we'll save that. We'll go back to our sidebar. Now we no longer need to bring that in. So we can just get rid of that. We see we still have a little more styling information here. So we'll just go ahead. We'll take that. We'll cut it. Come down to the bottom of our file and paste that in. By no means do we need to format this, but you know, just for personal preference, we do a much better job of this, you know. But point being, make it look a little more similar to what we've got above. We will just sorry about that. And last but not least, a little help guy here. Boom, boom. Well, one there. Okay, I know that was brutal to watch. I do apologize, but it's all done now. So now we've got our style sheet. The last thing we want to do, we want to come in here on that front and get rid of our style tags we're no longer using. So, okay, that's cool. But at the moment, we don't have any way to include that in our file, you know, as it is. So what we need to do is we need to make a user-defined function. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab that and paste that in. So we'll come up here, anywhere is fine, and we'll paste in our new function. So this is just saying when we're calling the include function anywhere, we want to grab the file name, create HTML output from the file, and get its content. So next we'll come over to our sidebar, and then we will just come up here to the top in our head, and we're going to include our style sheet. So cool. Now, if we run it as it is, we're going to see that we do have one issue yet. And so I'm going to run it just so you can see what's going to happen in case you ever run into this again. So we can close this, and then we'll pull it up again. And now you see this is not what we were looking for. Our descriptions are showing, our style sheets here, everything looks funny. So that is not exactly what we wanted. Our issue is going to be that instead of here where we're creating our HTML output from file, we actually want to create a template from file. All right. Get rid of that because we already have that. And then the last thing that we need to do, since we're going this route, is then we want to go and .evaluate. Oh. Again, bear with my typing. This is not my typical keyboard, so it is a bit brutal for everybody. But all right, so now if we save that and we try again. Now, okay, now we have our look again. Activity sample, okay. And boom. All right, and so now we got that. The next thing that I might change is our Unclick handler here. So if we look, we got the Unclick handler, activity note, passing all that in. We can just go ahead though and define that without bringing in jQuery. We can just come in here and say Onclick equals, and then we'll take this down here. Where's our Onclick? Right here. So boom, 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 and close that up. All good and well, but we're going to try not to use jQuery here any longer, so we're going to get rid of all of this. And then we're going to use JavaScript instead, and we're going to say we want the value from forms of 0. There's only one form, so that should take care of that. And then we ought to be able to come down here and get rid of everything, save it up, come back to our time tracker. All right, activity sample, okay. And oh, see, now we did get it, but we've got this object here. So we want to come over to our code, and now we just want to say, all right, we want activity blank, because we don't have any type of descriptor with it. So close that, open it again, gotta run the same thing. Okay, all right, now we have our activity sample. The last thing is we can see that we still do not have this clearing out. So while we could have done that in jQuery, we're going to try not to bring that in. So we're going to use it with a built-in JavaScript. So on that, we want to come up here and we're just going to define what type of script. Oh shoot, I'm going to need a tag, huh? Script type equals text JavaScript. Boom, close that up. We'll come down here and we'll end our script tag so we don't forget to do that. Okay. And then the last thing we need to do is we'll just make a very basic function. This is, let's reset the input. And I'll open that up a little bit. So now we're going to go with document get element by ID. If we look back here at Sidebar, we can see that our text field ID is activity note. So we'll take that. We'll get that. Oh, we're going to want to enclose that in some quotes. All right, so now we've got that. We want to set the value and it's equal to blank. Cool. All right, so now we have our input, our reset input function. Grab the element by ID, set its value to blank. We can save that, but we still need to trigger it from somewhere and we need to bring it into our code. So we're going to go here and we'll take this top line. We're going to bring our JavaScript in after for the sake of load times. So we'll say, okay, we want to include JavaScript. We could have named that anything, but just for the sake of convention here, I'm going to go with its name. And then the last thing we need to do, so we can save that now, but we need to trigger it from somewhere. So what we're going to say is when this runs successfully, we want to trigger that JavaScript function called reset input, and that will go ahead and clear our values. So what we're going to do is say with success handler, and then our function name is reset input. All right, so on click, we're going to run. This is the function we're actually going to run. This is the value we're going to pass to it. And then if it's successful, we're going to reset the input, which is our JavaScript function that we have here. We've got our style sheet here that's included based on this function. We've changed create template from file, or create HTML from file to create template from file, added .evaluate, and then changed our value there. So now we save this all up, we close this, bring it in one time, more, we'll say some activity, some activity is logged here, and we're cleared out here. So those are the basic changes that I would think about making. We have our different various fields separated out, and so it's a little cleaner. We're not bringing in any external modules we don't need. I mean, clearly, you know, guys, we could just take this entire thing here, paste it in there. We could take a JavaScript here, put that in there. We don't need any of our include functions or anything of that nature anymore. Pull it up, and we see that it's still working exactly the same. It's just this becomes a nightmare to try to search through. So this is a lot cleaner, easier. Save that. We know that if we need to work on our style, we got it here. We want to work on our JavaScript, we got it here. And our main code files here. So those are some of the changes I'd make. Hopefully I didn't take up too much of your time. Appreciate the effort and making this. Hope more people get excited and interested in AppScript.